After what feels like years of waiting, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is finally coming to PC. The second part in the iconic remastered trilogy for one of the most popular JRPGs ever made is an amazing game, packed with exciting combat, great side content, and a gorgeous new world to explore. It's amazing that we can finally experience this outside of the PlayStation ecosystem, and it may be one of my favorite experiences this year. In this video, I'm going to show how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is running on the Steam Deck and the compromises that have been made to make it as playable as possible. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified as soon as our next video goes live. The game is also recorded on the Steam Deck directly, so your performance may be slightly better than what you're going to be seeing in this video. And thank you to Square Enix for providing a key for us to review. Before I go into how the game is performing on the Steam Deck, I want to put this release in perspective. This is a massive open world JRPG with very high visual fidelity. It's asking for a minimum 16 gigabytes of RAM and a GPU that usually the Steam Deck can't handle, which is an AMD Radeon RX 6600 or NVIDIA RTX 2060. I didn't expect the Steam Deck to play this game at anything above 30 FPS, if at all, but Square Enix did give me some hope when they said that they were going to be optimizing for the Steam Deck. And to my surprise, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is actually playable on the Steam Deck, with some caveats. It is playable at 30 FPS pretty much throughout the whole game, and personally, I find that to be insane, given the scale of this entry. Running around in the open areas and combat all held strong and stable, which I was really impressed by. If you only have a Steam Deck to play on, you will be able to play it and enjoy it. However, there are some big sacrifices that are made to keep the game stable. First, we have dynamic resolution enabled, which helps keep the game at 30 FPS. But it does mean it looks a little pixelated when running around fast. But it looks very pixelated in crowded areas and cities, and there's some blurriness in faces here and there. Most cutscenes will still look amazing, like it's CG coming right out of a movie, and it isn't as affected, but it is noticeable. There's also some really bad ghosting that is present, but you can't tell as much unless you look closely at your controlling character or when you're in front of some objects. Changing settings did not alleviate either of these issues, and there was no change in the settings I could configure if I used the Steam Deck =0 command launch option to trick it into thinking I was playing on a regular desktop. You should also expect some frame rate drops within these towns. The lowest I saw while running around was a drop to 24 to 25 FPS, which I saw in Junon, but it could be worse depending on the town that you're in. Paired with the blurriness, I ended up dreading having to spend any time in these towns. On top of that, there are some serious model pop-ins that appear, which means that parts of the world like rocks and plants will randomly appear out of nowhere. This happens mostly in the open area sections, and while it does happen in towns, it isn't as pronounced. I also know some models that would overextend and make their way onto the ground I was walking on or the wall I was climbing on, blocking me so I couldn't see where I was going. Restarting my game did fix this, but it would return later as I kept playing. All of this is on the default settings without any TDP limit, so we are playing at the lowest possible settings with an extremely high battery drain of 23 watts to 24 watts, with some smaller areas going down to 18 watt battery drain. Admittedly, all of this does sound bad. There's a lot of compromises that you have to go through to play it on the Steam Deck, but I still can't help but be amazed that this is actually playable and enjoyable in the palm of my hands. I had a blast playing through Rebirth on the Steam Deck, even with the many compromises that needed to be made. I do wish the blurriness wasn't so prominent and being in towns was less of a chore, but it is still playable, and I was able to experience Rebirth all the way through. Would it be a better experience on a more powerful handheld or desktop PC? Absolutely. But if you have to, I would say you can enjoy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the Steam Deck given those compromises. If you have a more powerful PC, I could see the deck being a great way to grind in the open areas and complete side content when you are away from the desktop. It could be a great companion in this aspect. And since the cloud saves don't also save your settings, you can have higher settings on your desktop and not worry about the higher settings going onto your Steam Deck. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth can be purchased on Steam after it releases for $69.99, but if you pre-order it before it launches, you can get 30% off and only pay $48.99, which is a truly worthwhile price for such an amazing experience. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified as soon as our next video goes live. And a big thank you to our patrons. You guys are awesome. See you next time.